और जो विश्वा सर का अभी क्लास किए थे उनका दिखता है रिकॉर्डिंग हो रहा है बोल के, रिकॉर्डिंग वहाँ पे आता है। हाँ अभी दिख रहा है सर रिकॉर्डिंग। अच्छा अच्छा।
Okay, okay. Well, friends, we'll be starting our today's class. So,
Yes sir.
in the previous class, so we are discussing about share capital. We have understood various kinds of share capitals can be issued, but broadly we can classify them as preference share capital and equity share capital. And we have also understood one concept that coming to equity share, there is a voting right attached to that. And we have also understood with preference shares also there are some kind of voting rights. In some situations, preference shareholders can also vote. Can you recall some of the situations when preference shareholders can also vote along with equity shareholders? We have discussed these points in a previous class. Can you recall in which situation it can happen? Can any of you recall? Or should I tell you once again?
Yes sir, please sir, you tell us sir.
Yeah. The thing is that if in these situations like this, suppose preference shareholders' interests are directly affected, then they can vote. Or in the event of winding up decisions, preference shareholders can vote. Right? Or preference shareholders' dividend has not been paid for 2 years, they can vote along with equity shareholders. So these are some issues in the previous sessions we have discussed. In these situations, preference shareholders can also vote just like equity shareholders. Right? And proportionate. Their vote will be also proportionate in proportion to their share capital holding. These concepts we have discussed in our earlier classes. Today, what we are going to discuss, in fact, how it will be possible to bring a variation in the rights of equity shareholders. Is it possible to bring a kind of variation in the rights? Those concepts we are going to learn. So I am going to share the video with you. Not exactly video, sharing the screen with you. Yeah, I think it is visible.
Yes sir.
This is a small concept, but important concept we are going to cover today.
Of shareholders' rights.
Variation of the shareholders' right. So Section 48 of Companies Act 2013 deals with that. Let us see what are the provisions. So if you start reading the Section 48, it says, where the capital of the company is divided into different class of shares. That means here it says there is a possibility that we can divide the share capital into different class of shares. Right? If it is so, then it may sometimes be necessary for it to amend the rights attached to one or more classes of the shares. So normally every share, every equity share, one voting right is attached to that. But in certain situations, it may be necessary to bring an amendment in that. That means bring a kind of variation in that right. Okay. So this is broadly discussed in Section 48. To have a practical thing, how actually it happens, I am sharing with you exactly the memorandum of association of a company. Right? Memorandum of association of a company is a public document. This can be downloaded from Ministry of Corporate Affairs website. So this is a public document. This is a particular company's memorandum of association. Okay, are you seeing it? Exact. This is the real copy, right? Now, can you read this point number 5? Okay, I request all of you, please mute your speakers. I request all of you, please mute your speakers so that
Raghu bhai,
please mute your
mic
speakers so that we can continue
Raghu
our
bhai,
class.
Raghu bhai, mic mute करो.
सर प्लीज आप अपनी तरफ से म्यूट कर दीजिए सबको.
मैं कर तो दिया हूँ.
वो सुन नहीं रहे.
Okay, fine. Let us continue. Okay, it's over now. Now I think it's perfect. So, can you read this particular point? Earlier we have seen memorandum of association. We have seen various clauses are there.
Sir.
And this is the capital clause. Last clause number 5 is the capital clause. Can you read this clause? This is an example that how variation can happen. Please, some of you please
read. The authorized share capital of the company. The authorized share capital of the company is 10 crores.
Yeah.
Rupees 10 crores only, divided into 88 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each, and 12 lakh Class B equity shares of rupees 10 each with the power to increase, reduce, divide, subdivide, and consolidate its share, subject to the provisions of the Companies Act 2013.
Okay, now read the last sentence.
Amended wide special resolution passed at the EGM held on 30th March 2018.
Okay, what I am showing you is an example. It's a real and practical example of this particular company. Company name is here. Okay, you can also download their memorandum of association from Ministry of Corporate Affairs website. So this is an example. This is a company which is having two different kind of equity shares. One is Class A shares, another is Class B shares. How they have done it? First of all, you have understood they have passed a special resolution in an extraordinary general meeting. Okay. In an extraordinary general meeting, they have passed a special resolution because special resolution is required. We will be learning that thing. And consequently, they had amended the memorandum of association of the company. Right. And the entire authorized capital, they have divided into two parts. One part is Class A, other part is Class B equity shares. Right. Are you getting? And the company is having power to increase, reduce, divide, subdivide, consolidate the shares. Increase, बढ़ा सकते हैं. Reduce, it can reduce it. Subdivide means rupees 10 share can be divided into 5 shares each. 2 5 shares each. Consolidate means 2 rupees 10 shares can be consolidated and 20 rupees shares can be formed like this. These are the powers given to the company. Right. Once it is there in the memorandum, then it is be easy for a company to issue different kind of shares. Okay. Understood the point. Now the question arises, then what is this Class A share and Class B shares? This is only one example of our state I had given. But there are many companies who are having this two different kind of shares. And they call it as the Class A shares, Class B shares. What is the difference? Okay, before coming to the difference, I will show you how exactly the capital structure of a company look like. I guess most of you must have seen the balance sheet of a company. Have you ever seen a balance sheet of any company? Any of you have you seen? Company's balance sheet.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, most of you must have seen. If you have not seen, we'll see you. We'll be showing you when we'll be learning this audit and accounts part. That time we'll be learning it. In the balance sheet, if you see, one line is their share capital. But to understand that, we have to refer to a particular note. Most of the balance sheet, you have to refer to the note to accounts. If you refer to the notes, you can find a detailed explanation of the share capital. You see, this is the note in relation to the share capital of a particular company. Okay, this shows what is share capital. For this company, what is the situation of the share capital, we can understand it from here. You see, under share capital, what is the first part? Can you read here?
It is not visible, sir.
It is not visible. Font. Okay, it is not visible.
Sir, authorized.
Authorized. So you will be seeing
authorized.
The authorized capital. You see, the authorized means maximum these many shares can be issued.
So it can be zoom in, zoom out.
Okay, in zoom out it is visible, sir. Readable.
Yeah.
312.
We can.
Sir, 3,12,030. Sorry.
3 crore.
Yeah, whatever may be. First part is authorized capital, right?
Authorized.
That means some capital is authorized.
12,30.
Some capital is authorized, and this consists of a normal share and Class B shares. Just have this much of idea.
Okay.
Then authorized capital of the company is divided into two parts: Class A share and Class B shares. And within that authorized, out of this is the whole amount authorized. That means maximum these many shares can be issued. Out of this, company has issued some shares. Now next line you see issued. Out of this, company might have issued, but some of the shares might be subscribed. So within authorized, there are issued capital. Within issued, there will be subscribed capital. And out of this subscribed capital, there will be a part of this will be called as the called off capital. Right? And here issued, subscribed, and called off capital all are same. That means company has issued this much of capital, company has subscribed, shareholders have subscribed this much of capital, and company has called off this much of capital also. Right? Understood? Authorized capital, under that there will be issued capital, under that there will be subscribed capital, under that there will be called off capital, and under that there will be paid off capital. Paid off capital means actually investors are paid that much of money. Paid up capital is the real money which is available with the company. Authorized capital is the maximum capital which company can issue. Right? Okay. Subscribe means people are given consent that they will be subscribed in that much of shares. But paid up means the real money. The real paid up share capital is this much. Are you getting how to understand the share capital? Are you getting some
Sir,
idea?
this is not. No, sir. Little difficult to understand it. These terms.
Okay.
Subscribed call.
Acha,
Actually, in my case, I am not able to understand it.
okay, fine. Just a minute. Okay. You are able to see the board?
Yes, sir.
Now you see. Company what happens normally, suppose you are planning to form a company. Then in the memorandum you can specify my authorized capital is maybe authorized capital you may decide 10 lakh. Okay, authorized capital is 10 lakh. That does not mean that you will be issuing entire authorized capital. Okay. Out of this you may decide to issue 8 lakh. आपने issue किया 8 lakh. Out of 8 lakh, maybe investors subscribed only 6 lakh. Investors subscribed 6. Out of 6 lakh, you called off 4 lakh. Okay,
Called
out
up means,
of,
sir?
sorry?
Sir,
Called up means you are calling to pay money.
Okay.
You called them, 6 lakh has been subscribed,
So
but you called that pay me 4 lakh.
Okay.
Right,
Yes,
out
sir, I
of this
got it.
called up, but people actually paid. Paid up capital is only 2 lakh. That means finally you are having 2 lakh in your pocket.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So if you read the balance sheet, authorized capital is immaterial because that is the maximum amount I can issue, but I am not issuing that.
I can issue.
I have issued 8 lakh because 2 lakh I have kept in reserve.
Right,
Some
sir.
other time I may plan to issue it. But I have issued, but I issued 8 lakh, but people subscribed only 6 lakh. And in the 6 lakh, I am not calling the entire amount. I have called only 4 lakh. Right. And out of this, money has come only 2 lakh. So paid up capital is 2 lakh. Okay. This is how capital structure looks like. So if you want to understand a company's balance sheet, company's capital structure, then we have to understand it like this. You have to refer to the balance sheet, how it looks like.
Okay.
We try to understand. And this is actually the practical, real print view I had taken. That's why it is not that clear. But once you get the PPT or once you see it in that YouTube, you will be able to get these figures. You'll be able to see the right figures. Okay. Now, at this stage, let me explain you what is the difference between the class A shares and class B shares. When I'm saying class A shares and class B shares, that means I am differentiating. I am creating a kind of variation in their rights. Normally, class A shares have more voting rights in relation to class B shares. Okay. Class A shares normally having more voting rights. If you refer to a balance sheet of a company, if you find there are two classes of shares, class A this one, class B this one, you have to understand that class A shares are normally understood more powerful. Class A shareholders are more powerful because they got more voting rights. But if somebody is not actively involved in the management of the company, agar voting nahi deta, then it doesn't matter. Class A, class B doesn't matter. Okay, the difference between class A and class B is relevant only when a shareholder plays an active role in the voting of the company. Are you getting? Are you getting?
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, active role means
active role means he will come to the AGM or AGM and give a vote. Suppose he is not coming. Then class A, class B doesn't matter, no? He is not exercising his voting right.
So a person having less share can also join the AGM.
Person having
Having less share, minimum
less
share.
minimum share. Yeah, anybody. If the person is having only one share, he can also come to the AGM.
Okay.
Okay. AGM notice will go to the all shareholders. We have discussed in the meeting chapter that notice will go to the shareholders, auditors, directors,
Yes, sir.
etc. Right. Every shareholders will receive a notice, and it is open. Once notice is there, he can come and attend. Right. Even if he is holding a single share.
Sir, this class A and B, later on it will be classified, or at the time of issuing the shares, then only it is classified? Class A, class B.
Both way it is possible.
Okay.
You may subsequently you can bring a variation, or at the beginning stage also you can bring a variation. But if you want to bring a variation subsequently, then you have to, just like that company had done, it has amended its memorandum of association.
Okay.
Okay, memorandum of association should permit. Now we'll see what is the process behind that. Okay, now we have understood share capital of the company can be divided into different classes of shares. Many companies you will not find it, but some
Yes, sir.
companies you will find it. Now it can be divided. Now how it can be divided? It can be divided to bring a variation in their rights. But it is possible, read the first point I am showing you, only with the consent in writing of the holders of not less than 3/4 of the issued share. That means issued capital you have understood. You have understood how much shares are issued. At least 3/4 shareholders of issued share capital should give their consent in writing that variation, they are agreeing to the variation in the rights. Right? Okay. That is one way, one option. Other option is that by means of special resolution. When you are passing special resolution, again I need 3/4 majority. A special resolution can be passed at a separate meeting of the holders of the issued share of that class. If you want to bring a variation in the rights, you want to reduce somebody's right, then a separate meeting can be called for. And in that meeting, a special resolution should have been passed that these shareholders are agreeing to variation in the rights. Understood? So
Understood.
either by written consent or through special resolution. But all these things are possible if provision in respect of such is contained in the memorandum or articles. That means memorandum should contain a provision like this. The example I showed you, they have amended the memorandum. Because memorandum might not be containing that thing. That is the updated memorandum, we saw it. Okay, so memorandum should contain a provision that share capital can be divided. Equity shares can have variation in rights. Right? And in absence of such provision in the memorandum, let us assume that provision is not there. Still also it is possible to bring a variation. But how it is possible? I have to ensure that when shares are issued, the terms of issue does not prohibit the variation in the right. Issue terms doesn't prohibit. There is no prohibition in the terms of issue. Terms of issue doesn't prohibit or memorandum permits, then only I can bring this kind of variation. Okay. The concept here is that variation in the rights are possible, but you have to follow certain processes. Memorandum needs maybe we may need to alter the memorandum, or we have to check and we have to ensure that the terms of the issue doesn't prohibit that thing, and we have to go for a special resolution, or we might have to go for a written consent. Okay, this is how variations will be possible. And again, connected to that, we have to understand if by varying the rights of one class of shares, other class of shareholders are getting affected. Let us say I am bringing a variation in the class A, and that is affecting class B shares. Then also we need the consent of class B shares. Class B shareholders also. Consents are also required. So yeah, let me read out this provision. The provision is that if variation by one class of shareholder affects the rights of other class of the shareholders, then the consent of 3/4 of such other class of the shareholders shall be obtained. That means the other class of the shareholders who are getting affected by the decision, their consent is also required, and the consent means not simple consent, not just majority, 3/4 of them should agree. Okay? Are you getting? Okay. Now, in case there is no consent, that means some people are there who are not agreeing, but 3/4 majority have taken a decision. But people are dissenting for this kind of decision. If they don't agree with this kind of decision, that is decision of variation of the rights of the shareholder, then what they can do? What they can do means not a single person, but a group of person. That means the shareholders of not less than 10% of the issued share capital of a class. At least 10% of the people should disagree. Okay, if the at least 10% of the issued share capital of a class didn't consent to that variation, that means they are differing in their opinion. They didn't consent or vote in favor of the or didn't vote in favor of the special legislation. That did not is applicable for both. That did not consent or didn't vote in favor of the special legislation. Meaning they're opposing to the proposal. They're opposed to the proposal of variation of rights. They didn't give their consent and didn't vote in favor of the special legislation. And they constitute at least 10%. At least 10% of the issued capital. Then what they can do? They can go to the tribunal. They can raise that issue to company law tribunal. They can go to the tribunal, and tribunal they will be applying to the tribunal for cancellation of that order. That means for variations may be cancelled. Right? If such an application is made to tribunal, then the variation shall not have effect unless and until it is confirmed by the tribunal. If at least 10% of the shareholders has applied to the tribunal for cancellation of variation, then the variation which has been made by the company will not have effect unless tribunal confirms. Are you getting? So this is an option given to the 10% of the shareholders. If they want, they can object. You are asking that whether subsequently it is possible. Subsequently it is possible, provided 75% people or 3/4 of the people should agree. Right? They can do it. But if the 10% disagree, if 1 or 2% disagree, then it may not be possible. But 10% disagree, they can raise the issue to tribunal. They can apply to the tribunal that we are not agreeing to this variation in the right. And tribunal will pass order after giving opportunity of being heard to both the parties. Okay. Now, next procedural thing we need to remember that if this 10% of the shareholders are deciding to make an application to the tribunal, and they have to make it within 21 days. Within 21 days after the date on which the consent was given or resolution was passed. So if 21 days are lapsed, then no application is possible. So if they are actually disagreeing, then 10% of the people should join hand and give an application to the tribunal for cancellation of the variation of the rights of the shareholders. Okay, are you getting? So 21 days is the time by which they should apply to the tribunal. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now, related to that, some concept we need to understand that the order of the tribunal will be binding on both the parties. If the tribunal says, tribunal accepts that variation is okay, that is required, that is justified, then it is okay, that is binding. Or tribunal says no, variation is unjustified, cancelled, then also that is binding. Right? And once that tribunal passes an order, then the copy of the order needs to be filed with the registrar of the companies. Meaning, the copy of the final order needs to be filed with ROC within 30 days of the order. Okay. And in case company commits any default, that means company is not filing, then company shall be punishable for a fine which is not less than 25,000 and which may extend up to 5 lakh rupees. So 25,000 to 5 lakh rupees penalty is possible on the company. And in addition to that, this is the penalty for the company. In addition to that, every officer of the company who is in default, so companies has to pay the penalty, and the officers of the company who is in default shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months. So up to 6 months imprisonment is possible for every officer, or with fine which shall not be less than 25,000 rupees or may extend up to 5 lakh rupees or both. That means imprisonment up to 6 months plus fine 25,000 to 5 lakh rupees or both. Both means imprisonment as well as fine. Both the penalties has to be borne by the defaulter. Okay, so this is the provision regarding bringing variation. Okay, are you getting this point?
Sir, fifth point.
Yeah.
Actually, so the 10% people gone to the tribunal.
Right.
Then thereafter, company has to so withhold that variation till
No.
the confirmation is
If
received
the
from tribunal.
10% of the people, if 10% of people has gone to tribunal, the tribunal will hear both the parties. Tribunal will give notice and will give both the parties of an opportunity of being heard. After hearing both the parties, tribunal will pass an order, and that order will be binding. Okay. Whatever order is passed, that is final.
That is final.
Final.
But this fifth default means if the company doesn't follow the order, in that case there is a
order, or company doesn't file the order within 30 days, this compliance.
Okay.
If that is the situation, then company has to face this penalty consequences. Right? Okay, friends. Now, related to
so
that,
tribunal decision is final decision.
That is final decision. Okay. Related to that, related issue of shares, we have to understand some more concepts. First of all, shares can be issued at par. That means at the face value. Suppose face value is 10 rupees, share can be issued at 10 rupees. Or at premium, that is a higher value. Okay, 10 rupees shares can be issued at 12 rupees. Or at a discount, 10 rupees shares can be issued at 9 rupees also. Right? So this is how shares are issued at par, at premium, at discount. Right? Then we have to understand one more thing. What will happen in case of oversubscription? Suppose company has issued 5 lakh shares, but 10 lakh people have applied. Then shares will be allotted on pro rata. That means on proportionate basis. Suppose 5 lakh shares are issued, but 10 lakh people
have 150 will be issued.
Yeah. Suppose you have applied for 1,000 shares, you will be getting 500 shares. In case of oversubscription, shares has to be allotted on pro rata basis. Okay.
Okay. So under subscription, 100% will be allotted. If it is under.
Sorry. Please repeat your question.
Sir, if it is under subscription, then obviously 100% will be allotted as per the subscription.
If it is under subscription, okay, their law is slightly different in that case. There is an underwriter who gives a guarantee that this many shares will be subscribed. So it depends with the terms of the underwriter. Normally, underwriter will ensure that entire shares is subscribed. Otherwise, he will subscribe the difference. Okay. Okay. Then underwriter will come into the picture. It is a kind of insurance kind of thing. Okay. If shares are undersubscribed, now underwriter will come into the picture. But if you have applied for 500 shares, you will be getting 500 shares. You will not be getting less.
Okay.
Right. In case of oversubscription, there is a possibility that you may get less because of this proportional allotment. The next concept we need to understand, shares are allotted. First of all, one process is that call it as initial public offer, when first time shares are allotted, or follow-up public offer, when shares are once already IPO is there, then another issue comes that is called as follow-up public offer. Shares can be allotted by way of private placement. That means privately you are contacting different people among friends and relatives, and shares can be placed. This is how shares are allotted. And shares sometimes can be allotted.
IPO full form, sir? Sorry, sir. IPO full form, sir?
Initial public offer.
Initial public offer.
Okay. Then FPO is follow-up public offer.
Follow-up public offer.
Okay. This is how shares are issued. And connected to share, we need to understand one more thing, which is called the book building process. What is book building process? Many times what happens, company doesn't specify the price of the shares. Book building process is in fact a kind of price discovery mechanism. Okay, what happens? Company says, let us say I will be issuing 5 lakh shares, but company will not say I will be issuing 5 lakh shares at rupees 50. Company will give you a price band. Okay, Price band means it will say my price is 50 to 60. It's a band. Now, what people will be doing? People will be giving their quotation. Suppose you want to buy, you are giving your price is 50. Someone is giving your price is 51. Someone is giving price is 52. Like this, around 50 to 60, many people may give their quotations. Are you getting? And finally, company
Yes,
will
sir.
see that what is the highest price at which its entire
Highest bidder will get it.
highest bidder will get. Highest bidder, and that to all the shares should be subscribed. Let us say company has issued 5 lakh shares.
Okay.
Highest price is 60 because price band is upper band is 60. But 60 only, with 60 I am getting only 4 lakh subscriptions. But I want 5 lakh subscription.
Okay.
Then highest will not work. I will go to the next highest, maybe 69. Let us say 69 entire shares are subscribed. Then 69 is the final price. This is how prices will be discovered. Are you getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Sir, IPO is otherwise known as public issue.
IPO is
public
known as
issue
public
is
issue, initial public issue.
Public
Initial
issue and IPO are equal.
Yeah,
Okay, sir.
public issue can be IPO, can be FPO. IPO is a kind of public issue,
Okay, sir.
right? But did you understand this book building process? Book building process means a price band will be given and people will give their quote. Investors will give their quote that at what price they are ready to buy how many shares. And company will see, company will ensure that at what price, what is the maximum price at which its entire share capital can be subscribed. And that is the price which will be the final price. This is called as the book building process through which prices are decided.
The price, sir, the price decided after this process is this is the price band.
Price band, before that, merchant banker decides price band. Okay, after doing the research, he decide, okay, 50 to 60 will be the price band. But he just doesn't decide exactly it is whether it is 50 or 51, 52, 53, 54, 55.
So
It doesn't decide that. After doing a research, he finds
the
out these company shares can be marketed at 50 to 60. So he gives a price band at 50 to 60. Then it is
after
open.
market valuation, sir.
Yeah, it is market value. Market value, but not an
No,
absolute value, it's a band.
After market valuation, they decide that the price band or
Yeah. Are you getting book building process?
yes.
Okay, it's a price discovery mechanism where investors will give their bid and on the basis of that bid, final price will be decided. But before that, company might be providing you the price band only. Okay. Now, one more concept we need to understand regarding shares is that shares can be forfeited also. Forfeited means shares can be cancelled. If the person is not paying calls, right? Company is asking for call money, but person is not giving, then company can issue notice to that person and shares can be forfeited. That possibilities are also there. Okay. And there are certain procedures which needs to be followed at the time of allotment, at the time of issue, etc. These procedures in summary form I am explaining. At the time of allotment, the minimum subscription should be there. Okay. And company must have received the application money. That aspect also has to be seen. Application money shall not be less than 5% of the 5% or such other amount as decided by the Security Exchange Board of India. Minimum number of applications should be subscribed. If the minimum amount is not subscribed and application money is not received, then within 30 days from the issue of the prospectus, the amount received shall be returned. Okay, if within 30 days minimum subscription has not happened, then within 15 days, the amount needs to be returned. Okay, investors will be given that money back. And if the company makes some allotment of securities, it shall file a return of allotment to the registrar. In case of default, penalty consequences are there. So this is broadly, just have an idea. These are the procedures which needs to be followed. You can later on, you can go through the slides. You can see that these conditions need to be checked. That minimum subscription must have been received. If it is not received within 30 days, then money needs to be returned within 15 days from the closure of the issue.
So that means that after completion of that 30 days,
Hmm?
we will have 15 days for getting that
Yeah,
money.
for returning the money. For returning the money. Okay, quickly I'm covering two more concepts. Shares needs to be numbered. Each share should carry a distinct number. Share certificate should carry a distinct number. And company has to issue a share certificate, and share certificate must be signed by the two directors and the company secretary. For an example, I am showing you a share certificate. This is an example of a share certificate. Okay, you see two directors are signed, company secretary has signed, and this is how a share certificate looks like. Friends, time will be over now. So please go through these slides, or
You
you
will
can
rejoin?
see the videos. No, we are not going to rejoin. We will be closing it now, closing our session right now.
Okay, sir.
Okay, we'll catch up again in some other day.
Sir.
We'll